only been with them for 6 months. I've already seen so many great works. I've seen a lot of their programming. I've seen a lot of what they're doing. I've seen a lot of the programs they're making and that they're participating in, and they're opening the gates for many people. And I think theaters like that are at the forefront of what our theater is evolving to be. And the fact that, you know, they offer to fly you into Los Angeles so you can work, and they give you a professional playwright as a mentor. And they don't, I feel like so many times people want people of color or diverse voices or young people in their companies, but they don't give you the resources for you to succeed. They're just like, okay, here you are, figure it out. And I really think that what the Echo Theater Company did really well is that they offered you the steps for you to get there. They assigned you a mentor, someone who helps you write your play. They can't fly us in because of the pandemic, but they were going to, you know, let us go to LA, work with them, interact with other playwrights, interact with other directors, meet new actors. And they're really just giving you the keys and saying, hey, go do this work. And we need theaters that not just open the door, but like help you get in and like help you make networks and connections. And I think that's why they're so valuable. But also I think a lot of their programs are very community-based, and they're really trying to do things that are relevant in their communities. My name is Norma Lilia Ruiz Cruz, and if you'd like to know more about my play and the Echo Theater, please watch this video. So my mentor is Bernardo Cubría. He is a Mexican playwright and actor. He has been amazing. I was a little bit nervous because I was very intimidated by the whole mentor idea, but he was very easygoing, but also he let me lead how I wanted this fellowship to go, like residency. He said, okay, what do you need? How is this going to help you? And he gave me, of course, tools. Like he was like, I use the Liz Lerman feedback loop. I think that, you know, we should meet like once a month and then discuss the play. He actually did some, like he helped me get at least 3 readings with some of his like actor friends, and also like he talked to me about how to ask about the director. He was just very supportive. Even when I was second guessing myself a lot, he was always offering support, but also professional guidance. And the thing is that it also goes beyond just display. Like he has supported me a lot with, you know, how to look for grad schools and opinions about what it is to be like a Mexican artist in the US. And he has similar tastes. Like he really likes clowning, and that's something we sort of bonded over because I think cloning is one of the highest forms of theater, and so does he. So it was just very fun and like very enlightening to have someone with a somewhat similar background and who understood like the cultural background behind my plays. Like it was nice that I didn't have to explain to him what a quinceañera is, or like what the Spanish in the play meant, because he could read it. So that was a very good experience, and he was very helpful, and he still is very helpful. Like I know this is a person that's not, okay, your plane is done, bye. Like he's still gonna be in my life even after this program ends. It first started with a prompt. So I had 2 ideas I may write about. One was like a Greyhound trip, and the other one was like a pregnant quinceañera. And I guess I started with a scene. I'm always writing about women, and specifically Mexican women and brown Mexican women. And I think that quinceañeras are very specifically Mexican. Well, they're not specifically Mexican. They're in Latin America, but it's very Latinx and it's very cultural. And they also change from which region you're on. And there was something very attractive that drew me into that play, but I knew I really needed to write that play once I started writing it. So because I am from Tijuana and I grew up in Mexico until I was 16 years old. So I've grown up with a lot of the issues that women face. And I think that it's kind of like a love letter, but a very traumatic love letter, because, I mean, abortion, and it doesn't deal with abortion, but first I was going to deal with abortion because it was a big issue at the time, and I'm pro-choice personally, but I also know that if I ever got pregnant, I would probably not go with an abortion. And now I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but it's just, I started thinking about what if the play was about this pregnant quinceañera who has to choose between having a baby or getting an abortion, and that's the whole premise. And obviously it changed a lot as I started writing it, but a lot of the topics I deal with in the play are topics that are very personal, because it's a reality for many women. And it's just, I think a lot of the times when we think of victims of abuse, we tend to think of them as like, oh, poor them. And we just make it another statistic. But there are stories and dreams and hopes behind victims of abuse. And just because you go for something very traumatic doesn't mean that that's the only thing that defines you. So as I was writing this play, I just kept thinking that we need to tell these stories, because yes, when you read the statistics, you hear, okay, this amount of women are abused in Mexico, or, you know, like in Hispanic communities. But we need to think about the woman behind these statistics. And that's why I needed to write it. The play starts when Claudia, on her 30th birthday, hears a knock on the door, and then she opens the door, and it's this young woman. And throughout, you know, the first scene, we find out that this girl who's 15 years old is claiming to be Claudia's daughter. And it's just about, it goes back and forth between time from Claudia's quinceañera to her 30th birthday. And during Claudia's quinceañera, she reveals that she's pregnant with her best friend while she's dating another guy. And so, but we also find out that she has a lot of issues leading from, like, she has a lot of trauma that happened during her 15-year-old birthday, but we don't really know what it is until the end of Act 1. But we do know that she's very conflicted about this girl who's claiming to be her daughter. I want the audience to watch the play and breathe at the end. And it sounds weird because it's not an easygoing play. It's a hard play, and it's difficult to watch at times. It was difficult to write sometimes. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. And I'm writing it. And these characters say these things. But I want people to see that, feel that, and at the end, breathe. Because that's what happens in life. And life can be very tragic. And you have to get through. I want them to go with the process that Claudia is going through the play. And in order for them to do that, they need to see her struggle, see the things that she's struggling because of, and then breathe with her as she goes throughout the play and as she deals with her own personal issues and her own trauma and her interactions with those around her who live the trauma with her. I'm really looking for seeing other plays and mine like come to life. This has been such a fun process, and I'm very excited to meet the other playwrights even more. We've already interacted a little bit, but I'm really excited to you always get to know people through their plays. So I'm really excited to get a slice of their souls on Zoom. And I'm also very excited for just seeing not final products, because a lot of them are still developing, but just seeing what other people worked with and work on. My name is Norma Lilia Ruiz Cruz, and if you enjoyed this conversation about my play or the Echo Theater, please go to the Echo website to find more about it.